It's time. The BIA pod is back.
Chip.
Yeah, man, it's time. I mean, the tune-up game is over. We're at week 14. November 29th is on Saturday, and we know what that means. The Ohio State Buckeyes are playing in the game. We've been here time and time again, Phil. But before we get into all of that, man, how are you doing? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I got that good nervous energy going. By the way, we gotta do it again in this pod. No one's allowed to say the name of that team up north. Last year we did it, and you lost. You said it first on the pod. So I'm just putting that back out there. We're doing that again.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to go the whole pod without saying the name of that team. But yeah, I'm excited. It's made a little edit this morning. That'll be up on our TikTok and hopefully our Instagram too. Just getting in the spirit. It's kind of like Christmas, like the week before Christmas. You know, you start decorating. You know what I'm saying? you start playing the music. You know, and so that's what we're kind of in that season right now.
Yeah, nervous energy is we'll get to that maybe about a few things. But hey, we'll unpack it. Let's first talk real quick about, our victory over Rutgers. Anything notable that you want to talk about or just mention?
Yeah, well, speaking of that team up north, we played like that team up north. like that. We never passed to our wide receivers. I think I saw a stat at the end, like yesterday, that they maybe had 3 receptions or something as the receivers. It just was not a lot of targets though. It was just a run the ball and pass to the tight ends kind of game, which it's cool that we can do that and still win by like 30 points. Like that's is encouraging, even though it's a bad team. But it doesn't feel like our brand of football, so it's kind of weird to watch it, and I don't really know what to take from it. Besides the fact that I hope we don't have to play like that again.
Yeah, I think my main concern was the fumbles. Were the fumbles that were happening? It just seemed like even fumbles that we ended up recovering on our end. There was one in particular, Max Clare, fumbling a ball, and one of our running backs was able to recover that. Bo Jackson at the beginning of the game, fumbling into the end zone for something, that should have been a sure touchdown, or at least a drive that ended up in a touchdown. So, that was a little concerning to me. But the one thing I do like was the fact that, given the fact that like you mentioned, we may have only had 3 receptions to receivers. We have other people who we were able to throw it to. Max Clare, like I mentioned, you texted me and was like, he has probably 40 yards after catch, and so being able to see that, albeit against a bad team in Rutgers, I think that gets somebody like a Max Clare's confidence up. Our offensive line, I thought, played well too. I mean, again, it's Rutgers, right? Like you can only take so much from a tune-up game, but the fact that we were able to, in years past, there have been some games that were look-ahead games, but right before the Michigan game, and we didn't play well. And
hey, chat, he just said the name of the team. I'm sorry, it's already over. It's
oh
over,
my
chat.
gosh! All right, hey, listen, I already knew that. I already knew I was going to lose, so I was going to mention that I already knew I was going to lose, but I'm going to do my best to just say team up north for the rest of the
All right. We'll start over.
So.
Start over.
but we we've had games in the past where we don't look that great, but then it's because we have been looking forward to the game, at the end of the year. So, I'm happy to see that overall, like you said, we were able to play the way that we played, and we're able to win by a wide margin. So,
yeah.
So, we close that chapter and we walk into the next one. just things top of mind right now. Of course, our wide receiver 1 and 1. I mean, it's crazy to say it's wide receiver 1 and 2, but I'm saying 1 and 1 because both of them play like number one options. Man, let's just talk about it real quick. The injuries to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. At first, I thought at least the Carnell Tate injury was one in that Purdue game. It was like, okay, man, these guys are really getting ready for Michigan, but no, it actually seems like it's an injury. um,
Yeah.
and then as far as Jeremiah Smith, you know, I don't know. He said on Caleb Downs' podcast, is it Downs to Downs? I forgot the name of his pod, but um, he said he's good. He said he should be good, but I need the Dr. Phil session to help me to ease any anxiousness in Buckeye Nation.
Well, look. First of all, Jeremiah Smith is playing. That's 100%. You can count it. Take it to the bank. That man's gonna play. And I definitely think, I think it's a cliche to say, oh, if somebody's there, even if they're only 80%, it's still better than nothing, or just say they can be a decoy. But Jeremiah Smith is one of the few actual players in college football who legitimately could be a decoy because they are going to double team him. And they did a good job of that last year, to be honest. Like they did a good job of doubling him. And we've seen a couple of teams that have tried to take him out all the way have been successful because you can try to eliminate a one wide receiver if you just like submit all your resources to that. And they did last year. Other teams have. And if that happens, somebody else will be open. So I do think it's worth putting him out there, kind of regardless. Uh, our listener, friend of the pod, Dr. Brandon, a real doctor, he did. He suggested that he heard it might have been a calf injury, which makes sense because like people who have calf injuries. Think about in basketball, you've seen with Dame, with Halliburton, you have a calf injury, you play on it too soon, you hurt your Achilles,
Yeah,
and so it's one of those. It kind of would make sense if you think about the timeline. Like calf injury, he could have played on it. He's not too hurt to play, just like Halliburton was playing in the finals, right? But it's something where you could aggravate that Achilles, you could accidentally rupture that, and so that's why you would understand why there would be that caution there where he's physically able to play, but you could, overcompensate and mess up that Achilles. So that makes sense to me. That doesn't really give me an indication whether or not he'll play in this game or not. I'm not sure about that, but it does make it seem like he'll play in the playoffs if he doesn't play in this game. So confident in Jeremiah. The calf injury idea makes a lot of sense to me. And if that's the case, you can understand why, whether it's Ryan Day or the Tate team. Like I can see why his parent, his whoever his guardian or his agent or whatever is telling him, hey, like it's actually not smart for you to play. Rupturing your Achilles, in the fall before a draft is not a good thing. So yeah, but I think Jeremiah will play. And I think that Lorenzo Styles Jr., who got hurt in the Rutgers game, I don't think he'll play, which makes me think it'll be where they shift, where they end up putting Sanchez on the outside to start and put Jermaine Matthews at the slot. They did
mm.
that earlier, and so I think we'll see that happen, which will be kind of wild to have a freshman corner starting in the game.
Yeah, and that should be interesting to see. There's only one wide receiver I'm worried about in this game, and that's Marsh for Michigan. Um, and it's crazy. He's a freshman. Um, he's a freshman, and oh, by the way, as before I forget, it's Downs to Business. That's the Caleb Downs podcast with his brother. Downs to Business. So my bad, Caleb. Um, yeah, you know, I don't have anything else to say about the injuries. We hopefully, hopefully we are able to come in there with both of them playing. But to your point, if Tate is dealing with a calf injury, then it probably is not going to be a good thing for him to play. So let's just talk about the things that we are encouraged by or that we're confident in, and some of the things we're worried about. If there is anything, um, you know, I can start us off here. in terms of the things I'm encouraged by, I know you don't necessarily, uh, we've talked about this on previous pods,
I
but the
already know
running
where this
back
is going.
rotation, okay, running back rotation, fresh legs, getting into the game. Where this is a game we're definitely going to need to ride the hot hand. I think though, we talked about this outside of the pod. Bo Jackson getting, I believe you want to see him get 15 carries.
15 carries.
15 carries. And the last game he got 19
19 carries.
carries. Okay. So so my thing with that is that shows that he's clearly running back one, and I think that if Ryan Day sees that he is doing his thing through the game, that he's going to be the person that stays in the game. So I'm saying all that to say that I'm confident in our freshman running back, Bo Jackson, running well as opposed to last year when we tried to just run inside time and time again and it just didn't work. I'm confident that they're going to mix things up, and that'll open up the pass game because we're going to need the run game this game in particular, because playing the team up north in that weather, potential weather, right? It could snow overnight. It could snow during the game. Either way, it's going to be cold, and so the running game is going to need to show up.
Okay, you sound kind of like the game plan from last year, but all right. For me, I'm going
We're
to.
gonna have to run it, man. We're
Yeah,
gonna have to.
saying
I'm not
run game
saying.
show up, playing that team, playing those conditions. Got to run the ball.
I'm not
Ryan
saying.
Day, don't
Real
listen to
quick,
him.
just to,
Throw
just
that
to,
ball.
just to
Throw
defend.
the damn ball. That's what earlier this year you said. I'm gonna get a hat that says "throw the damn ball" on it. Just
I don't know about that. I said that, but I'm not saying running it like last year. I'm just saying running it in general. Like we don't need to. I'm not saying that we need to run it more than we pass. I'm not saying that. I'm confident in our run game this year, and it's so crazy to say that because both Quinshawn and Travion are tearing up the NFL right now, and
Go Browns.
yeah, so.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, the thing I'm most confident in for this game coming up is our secondary. You mentioned they have one good receiver, Marsh, freshman receiver. He is legitimately very good. He's very fast. He's an explosive guy. He's not like a possession receiver. Is going to get the ball every third down for 6 yards, but he's a big play guy. But I feel confident in our secondary. One, because they only have to really stop one receiver, and we definitely have the talent to be able to do that. I think it'll be Igbinosun who's on him. I mean, Sanchez is probably faster than Igbinosun, but the thing about Igbinosun, we know he likes to use likes to use them hands, like use them paws. I actually love that on a freshman receiver. Like, get up in his grill, like rough him up. He's going to get some penalties this game. So, Buckeye Nation, don't be mad. It's going to
Yeah,
happen. But I think
it
it's going to be a
is.
good thing. He's going to be roughing him up and knocking him off the square and getting him uncomfortable. It'll be kind of probably the first time he's really had that. And in this big game, he's probably going to want to have a big game as a freshman in the game. So, I think that Igbinosun is going to be perfect to match up with a pretty. I mean, Igbinosun's not big either. He's kind of skinny, but a smaller freshman receiver. I think Igbinos is a perfect match for that. So I feel confident that we'll be able to stop their receivers. Even though he's legitimate, I'm not trying to hate on him, but I am saying that our secondary makes me confident.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, include Caleb Downs in that. I saw a crazy stat, man. I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 100 in playing in pass coverage. In 100 and I think 70 something snaps, Caleb Downs has not given up a touchdown.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe it. I think that'll hold true. I just feel like, to be honest, the way this game is going to go and the way that team likes to play, I see Downs playing closer to the line of scrimmage
Yeah,
more often. I think he'll be
same.
up there in run support, or for he'll be probably more matched up on their tight ends than he will be playing like double covering a wide receiver. But if it was be a receiver that would be double covered, it would be Marsh.
So, what's something that you are concerned about, or just kind of heading into this game? You're like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I can go first if you want.
No, I'll go first. I'll go first because it kind of speaks on what I just spoke about. I am worried about the game plan. I'm worried about that run first. mentality. I'm worried about the fact that even like I think it's natural. You just said like, hey, the weather. We know it's supposed to be cold. Those who don't know, there's supposed to be snow that day. Maybe not during the game. Maybe we'll
Hmm.
see. But it's going to be a cold day in the 30s, and so that automatically triggers in the football brain. Oh, this is going to be a running game. It's not going to be a game where you're putting the ball in the air very much. And I just feel like we've seen that that is not a recipe for success for us. Even again, our running back, you love our rotation. You love the fact that James Peoples is running the ball. You know he's a running back 4. Okay, cool. He's not better than Quinshon or Travion, and they weren't effective running the ball last year. So none of the guys we have this year are as good as that. None of them. None. Add all the 4 of them up. They're not as good as either of those. So if that's the case, then we've seen that that is not necessarily a recipe for success. Now, their defensive tackles are not as good as they were last year. That's true.
Exactly.
But they still have the same defensive mentality of stopping the run. And so I am just worried. Again, we have to run the ball. Obviously, you have to have balance. I'm worried that the game plan will be take it out of Julian Saint's hands, that he's a first year starter. We don't want to put it too much on him. I'm worried it's going to be the Texas game plan. I don't want the Texas game plan. That we won that game. We did. I don't want that. That to me leaves so much margin for the Bull. That leaves the margin for Jaden Fielding to, oh my gosh, I am concerned about Jaden Fielding having any impact on this game. If he had, I don't like, oh my gosh, that just made me my heart skip. Keep him off the field, man. We don't need him being a factor in this game. We do not.
You don't even want him kicking extra points?
No, go for 2. Go for 2.
Well, okay.
So yeah, that's my concern is a lack of passing. Not even worried that Saying won't be good or that the receivers won't be ready. I'm worried that we won't try to do that because of the combination of the weather, the team we're playing, the first year starterness in the first game for Saying, and the injuries for our receivers. Like, let's just not forget what makes Ohio State special on the offense.
All right. Well, appreciate you sharing that, my brother.
I'm sorry. I
You
just
got
the
yeah,
fielding thing just triggered me
yeah.
because I forgot all about him, and he like, please don't let him have
You
any meaningful kick.
you got a lot off your chest right there. Try to keep mine short, man. It's really just the mentality of let's not get into that mentality of here we go again. Um, it's been 4 years, 4 years in a row, and this is not the same team that stepped out in that first year. This is not the same team that even stepped out last year. Some of the same players, yes, but this is a completely different team. Um, in a lot of different ways where we haven't struggled against anyone in particular. Even in that Texas game, and you said you don't want the Texas game plan. I don't want the Texas game plan either. But I think even in that Texas game, it was a we controlled the majority of that game. And so, having said that, I just don't. I think the thing I'm worried about is just the mentality of, the here we go again in terms of that pressure that may happen. If we're down by, in other years, down by 10. Last year it wasn't the case. But as long as we just get a good stop, in terms of stopping the run late in the game, where nobody runs outside off of a missed tackle down the sideline for a touchdown. This is going to be a crazy environment. I give that to the team of North. Like, it's going to be a crazy environment for this particular game. They've won. They have a pretty good win streak right now in the Big House, and at the end of the day, is I think the main thing to really stop that whole thing in your mind of here we go again is just to get on them early. Like, I think that in the same way have beaten other Big Ten teams, who are inferior, it's making them like being up by 2 touchdowns or even sometimes 3 touchdowns, and all of a sudden passing becomes a priority, and that puts a lot of pressure on the other team to do things that they're not comfortable doing, and that's what I want to see from in this game, I will feel so comfortable knowing that we're up and that Bryce Underwood has to throw their way out of a situation. So
Yeah, that's a great point. I think before we get into score predictions, I think like when it comes to the score, we have to get touchdowns. Like we have to. This is
yeah,
not just hate on fielding. This is not. This is separate from that. Like we need to score touchdowns. We don't need to be kicking 30-yard field goals, even if we can make them, because that is what allows that kind of team to stay in it. I was listening to Joel Klatt this week, and he was talking about how that team just wants to be in striking distance in a one-score game in the second half. That he said that
you talk about the team up
Hutchinson
north.
told, yeah,
Yeah,
that team. The Hutchinson was like talking to him in 2022 or something like that, but like about how that's all he wanted is to be in the fourth quarter with a one-score game. It's like that team that even kind of fits to your point too. The here we go again. You don't want them to have a chance to have a game-winning or game-tying drive at the end, or God forbid a game-sealing 4-minute drill at the end. Like you need to score touchdowns so that you, like you said, to force Underwood to have to come back through the air, to force Marsh to be able to beat Igwinosin and Caleb Downs down the field. Like that only happens when you don't settle for field goals.
yeah, we've got to be aggressive. We have to be the aggressive. So I was reading an article last night about the fact that just sort of scratch everything that has happened and just be the better team. And we should be uh, we should be aggressive. We are the better team. And so, having said that, we wanted to hear from a few other listeners, I should say, predictions before we gave our own. So let's take a listen to some of those now.
What's going on, Buckeye Nation? It's BA. You might have heard about me on the pod once or twice. Boys won't let me on it, though. Start the petition. But anyway, predictions. I think Ohio State will get a cool 42. Best school up north, light 17. It's not going to be close. Ryan Day's unloading the clip. It's going to be a good year.
Hey guys, I'm Lo. My husband actually stole my exact prediction for this game, so I'm gonna say that Ohio State wins 42 still. I still think solid 42. And team up north, we'll give them 10, but yeah, not close at all. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Good evening, sports fans. Take 22, Dr. Mack, with his prediction for the big game on Saturday. By the way, I have a relationship with one of the BIA podcasters, and very proud of him. Both of you guys doing a great job. And so since I needed to make this 1 minute, I had to add that extra volume there in order to stretch this out. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction. Ohio State, 37. The team from up north, 9.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for sharing those predictions. Phil, go ahead and kick us off with your prediction.
All right, so I'm gonna go with, for the game, Ohio State 24, that team up north 10. I don't know when we're gonna get those points, but I like a couple touchdown win. I don't like that team up north scoring more than 10 points. I feel like our defense is going to be prepared to be able to stop them. It's going to be up to us to put some touchdowns on the board.
Okay, good, nice. It's somewhat close to mine. I'm going to say that Ohio State wins the game 28-17. I would think that the team up north, their offense is somewhat better than some of these other teams we've played. And so I think they're going to obviously have a few wrinkles. We can definitely expect some gadget plays. There's at least one gadget play in every game from these past 4 years that gets us. Last year, it was I'll never forget it. It was I believe it was like a halfback pass from I think it was Edwards to one of their receivers. I don't know who the receiver was, but Denzel Burke recovered on that, and basically got called for pass interference because the ball hit his back and he basically tackled the guy before the ball got there. And I'll never forget it, bro. That drive should have been over. I believe it was a third down. Um, and anyways,
I've blocked out that game. I remember now thinking about the interception that wasn't an interception in that game,
I forgot that one.
like in the end zone. But yeah, tough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great point. I agree. I think that they're going to have some trickery. They have to. They're the kind of team who has less talent. They've got to do that kind of stuff. 28-17 sounds a little more nerve-wracking. I will say that is a score that I don't think is wrong, but that doesn't sound like I'll be able to calmly be watching this game.
Let me just say this: if we win this game, we got to celebrate. As fans, it's just like, yes, it is definitely one of those types of games where we're going to get to other rivalries here in a second across the country. It's a relief, after you win. Yes, it's celebratory to some, but I think in this rivalry, it's more of a relief when we get to move on to the Big Ten championship game, because it is set in stone now. If we lose and Oregon wins, then they're going. But man, have you heard the scenario if Purdue beats Indiana, Washington beats Oregon, and Michigan, the team up north, beats us? Then it would be a rematch.
Yeah. That's
in the Big
funny.
Ten championship game against the team up north.
That is hilarious. That's a hilarious scenario. That would be funny. Purdue.
No, it would not be funny. It would not be funny. It would not be funny, bro.
It would be funny in the sense that if we were to lose, that it would be funny that we get a chance at an immediate rematch. That part would be funny.
Oh.
It would not be funny if we lose, and we wouldn't know that information when we lost, so it wouldn't be like something that we'd be happy about.
Right.
But it would just be like a funny thing if that ended up being everything that happened. Again, Purdue. I'm not putting no stock in Purdue coming through. So,
So, other rivalries, across the country. I mean, in terms of let's look at it from this standpoint. What is going to be the best game outside of our game? The best rivalry game outside of our game happening this weekend? I mean, to me, right now, at the top of my mind, it's Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M has something to lose, and Texas doesn't. Arch Manning is coming off a game where he caught a touchdown pass, ran for a touchdown, and threw a touchdown. And so he is now the Taysom Hill of Texas. But right now, I mean, that is the game that is at the top of my mind in Texas, in Austin. And, Marcel Reed, and make sure I get that right this time. Earlier this year, I said, I brought up Kenny Hill, but no, it's Marcel Reed, has some vindication to get, some revenge to get from last year. So I just think that may be the biggest game. I think is that a night game on Saturday? It should be.
That's a Friday night game.
Oh, that's a Friday night game?
I'm telling you, Friday is jam-packed, bro.
Wow. That's kind of, I'm surprised by that because the NFL's putting a game on Prime on Friday night. It's the Eagles and the someone else with a black quarterback. That's why they're calling it the Black Friday game.
Who's calling it that?
Amazon Prime. It's Jalen Hurts.
That's not what they mean. I'm sure they're not putting the graphic up there with.
Bro, I'm telling you, dog. I was like, and then the crazy thing, they had them in black uniforms.
Chat, don't listen to him, man. He's making up stuff now. Okay, so you've got Texas, Texas A&M. Friday night is the Bears Eagles game, so that's
there we go.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb and yeah.
I heard they're 100% not marketing it as black. Anyway, okay. So for rivalry games across the country, I think are gonna be good. I mean, I think there are a couple games that have really big implications that I'm not choosing. One is Mississippi State. So Ole Miss is a team that is 10-1. They're firmly in the playoff. They could get knocked out if they lose to Mississippi State. Mississippi State's not a good team, and Mississippi doesn't really have very many good wins. So taking a bad loss, I think, would really put them into question. And then I think that the Pitt versus Miami game is going to be exciting because, I mean, Miami is trying to prove they deserve to be in, and they have to win this game. They have to win this game. It's not a rivalry game, so that's why I'm not picking it. But that game is going to be, I think, pretty good. The rivalry game I'm going to pick that's I think is going to be the best game is not one that's probably as hyped, and that's the Arizona versus Arizona State game. These teams are both 8-3. Arizona State still has a chance to make it into the Big 12 championship game if they win. I think Arizona can't just because of the tiebreakers they have, but it's a rivalry game. Arizona's been down, but I think they have a real shot to spoil it for Arizona State. And again, these teams both have the same record and coming in both with a lot to prove and kind of make their season end on a positive note. That game is also on Friday night, another one of the Friday night games, currently only a 2.5 point spread. And so
Who's favorite?
We'll see if it gets picked later, but that should be a good game.
Let's see who you picking. Who's it's Arizona's favorite? Okay.
Yeah, Arizona State is favorite. Arizona State's at home, so they're favored by 2.5, which basically means this is a true pick'em game. These teams are very evenly matched.
Well, you're saying Arizona. I see Arizona as favored.
Oh, okay.
Either way, that is definitely a pick'em game. I mean, regardless, that spread. I mean, it may even go down to 1.5. Who knows? Yeah, but no, that should be a good game, man. Big 12 Phil strikes again, and we know who you picking in Pick 6 too. As you go first here, and we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna get to Pick 6 here next. And now it's time for Pick 6. The BIA Pod's best bets of the week, where we pick 2 locks, 2 toss-ups, and 2 upsets. Oh man, yeah, it's been a great competition, man. You know, there's no way. I don't think there's any way for me to come back here. I went 0 for 3. I've literally got nothing to say.
Yeah, I was wondering why your energy was so low. I was about to say, "Hey man, energy up," but I realized it's because you're bringing up the scoring for the Pick 6, and it's not the most pleasant for you. So understandable. You're kind of like, I'm trying to think an equivalent football wise. You're kind of having a season like Clemson, maybe.
Some bright moments at times, but just
yeah.
That's fair.
A lot of promise coming into the season, a lot of hype. People were picking you as a favorite coming in. Some thought you were going to win the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. All right, man. All right. Well, what about your picks? The score, by the way, for those who are listening, is 19-11. 19-11. Bill is winning 19-11.
Yeah, man. I mean, the picks from last week it was a bad week for me in real money wise too. So I'm doing nothing to brag about. Washington over UCLA was my lock. Supposed to be the best pick that you got. And that one was a pretty easy cover from the first quarter. UCLA is not good. Nico did play. I know you were texting me saying, Nico. He did play, and he was not good because he's never been good against good teams. All right. That's all I got.
Hey man, it is what it is.
The text did come, chat. I'm not making that up. He did say.
I don't know about the text. We may have been on the phone, but hey, if you have a transcription of that, then hey man,
I'll put it on TikTok.
More power to you.
I'll put it on TikTok.
All right, man. Where are we going first?
All right. So for me, I'm going to start off with the upset, just because there's always upsets in rivalry week. But we need to have an upset that's at least 7 points or more. So I'm going to go to my roots. Old Virginia, the old Dominion state, former capital of the Confederacy. Give me Virginia Tech and the Fighting James Franklins over UVA. Black coach either way, so can't be no allegations against me. But yeah, I'm gonna go Virginia Tech. I think that UVA, if you've seen like the Wikipedia page of UVA versus Virginia Tech, you'll see UVA doesn't win very much against Tech. So I think this year, obviously, Tech's only 3-8, but they have some momentum coming, and UVA is trying to play to win a spot in the ACC championship game. That's a lot of pressure on a team that's not used to that kind of pressure. Any kind of way, winning a big game or playing for some kind of actual trophy. So give me the Hokies.
Yeah, that's a great pick, man. You know, we talk about this year in year out that it just seems like UVA can't, no matter how great their season is, they cannot beat Tech. I think they've only beaten them twice in the century. So
yeah.
All right, man. Gotta ask for a favor here. Can I get 0.5? Can I get Pitt over Miami?
Dang it,
It's
brother starving. You said Pitt?
Yes, I'll take Pitt.
All right, man, you got it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
You like Pitt or you don't like Miami? Which one?
I just think it's a dangerous game for Miami. I mean, they're coming up to cold weather. They are,
True.
you know, Pat Narduzzi. They had a strong game last week, you know, against Georgia Tech. The game I picked as my toss-up. It wasn't even close. And Georgia Tech is not a bad team. And they beat them down in Atlanta. So, yeah, I think, I mean, obviously, Miami's a better team than Georgia Tech. Not obviously, but I do think they have more talent. And so there's some pressure on Miami here to win. I mean, now, if they don't win, you know, that just means that they're definitely not going to the ACC championship game, and they're not going to the college football playoff. More than likely, crazier things have happened. But
I don't think I think that would be the craziest if they lost and still got in.
That would be one of the craziest things that's happened. There is somewhat pressure on them to win this game to stay alive in the playoff hunt, if you will. So, all right, man. My lock, just sort of randomly looking through here, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the one of the rivalry games. Give me Indiana over Purdue. Purdue. It's one minus 28.5. I understand like it is a rivalry game, but I think that Indiana's going to come off of that bye week, and this is going to be a tune-up game for them heading into the Big Ten championship game.
Okay, I figured you were going to take that. I feel like that's the safest. Picking an Indiana cover is a safe thing this year, so that makes a lot of sense to snatch.
Unless they're playing Iowa.
Right.
When they go and get an intentional safety.
Whew. Okay, on me. All right, I'm going to go with Georgia. I think that Georgia still has something to play for. They're still trying to have that first, maybe be able to get a first round bye. And nothing else a home game. And this would definitely knock them out of the home game if they lose to Tech. Tech is coming in a little bit weakened from their last game. And more so, I think just that last year, this game was so big. There was kind of no expectations of Georgia Tech beating Georgia, and they went to several overtimes. It was a crazy game. And so I feel like Georgia's going to be way more ready for that game this year. And so, yeah, go ahead and give me Georgia. Also, this game is being played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is basically the Georgia Bulldogs home field. So I don't know why Tech allowed this to happen. I guess maybe it gets more money from getting more fans. Yeah, but it's so stupid. Like I think it's worth more to have a win than it is to get more money, but we'll see. So anyway, for that reason, I'm going with the Dogs. That spread is currently 13.5. So I need 2 touchdowns for the Dogs. Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, don't speed on the way to the stadium, Georgia. But anyway, go ahead. You got the toss-up?
Oh, toss-up. Okay, so for my toss-up, a game with a 3-point spread or less. Yee! I feel like all the 3-point spread games, not all of them, but a lot of them are of like bad team versus bad team. And that's like hard to pick in those games, man, because you just can't really trust either of those teams.
It's crazy it's happening at the end of the season. Like you'd think that somebody was like kind of in their stride or that it's a good team against a good team, but no.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. I am... Ooh. Man, I keep changing my mind. Okay. Ugh.
Sounds like you're about to get sick.
I know. Because I'm about to take a team that I really don't like.
I know.
Give me the Tennessee Volunteers.
I knew you were going to say it.
The Volunteers. I just think that, shout out to Pavia's mom. Man, I think that the Tennessee Volunteers, though, are just a better team. I mean, they're not actually. Let me rephrase that. I don't think Vanderbilt is that good. I don't think Tennessee is that good, but it's at home. And this is definitely, again, kind of that same thing where with Georgia and Georgia Tech, Tennessee's not overlooking Vanderbilt this year. Tennessee also kind of needs a win to feel good about their season. They've been very, very average, but it's at home against a quote unquote rival, but one that, is the best that Vanderbilt's probably ever been coming into that stadium. And so, yeah, I like the Volunteers to cover and to win.
Well, at the end of the season, we're fighting each other because I'm taking Vandy over Tennessee.
Wow.
I think that this should be a great game, and I hope to be watching this game because if we don't win our game against the team up north, I will probably not be watching football.
Yeah, if we don't win, also don't expect to hear from us ever again. This is potentially the last ever episode, the potential series finale of the BIA pod.
So we sound like a Fox show that just abruptly ends. Vandy, Tennessee hasn't beaten a winning Power 4 team this year.
Yeah, no wins over Power 4 teams with a winning record. As I said, they're not good, but I think Vandy is a little bit overrated. They got off to a great start, but some of those teams in the SEC, aren't just not that good. So it's like they've been kind of beaten up on the middle of the conference. And I think these are two basically evenly matched teams. And I'll give it to the home field, given that they have one of the best home field advantages in the country. And again, they'll be ready for Vandy this year. So that's the only reason why, not because I think they're necessarily better, but they're even and they're at home.
All right, let's go ahead and do the rundown here. For my lock, I've got Indiana minus 28.5 over Purdue. For my toss-up, give me Vandy over Tennessee. And for my upset, give me Pitt over Miami.
All right. For my lock, I've got Georgia beating Georgia Tech and covering a 13.5-point spread. For my toss-up, I've got Tennessee at home beating Vanderbilt. And my upset, give me the Hokies and the Fighting James Franklins over UVA.
All right. That's our episode. We look forward to a great game and a win against the team up north. We're not going to be in that mentality that here we go again. We're going to be positive vibes on. You could, like Phil mentioned earlier, catch our an edit or new video that we're posting on Instagram, and TikTok, featuring Jeremiah Smith. And as always, OH.
IO, go Bucks, beat that team up north.